Start this hour too with breaking news because the US Senate Intelligence Committee has sent a letter to Julian Assange asking him to testify on alleged Russian meddling in America's 2016 presidential election. Well, let's get more details now from Anastasia Chorkina, who's following the story for us from London. Anastasia, good afternoon to you. Just go through then, what exactly is in this document?
Well, Andrew, indeed, the US Senate Intelligence Committee has sent a letter to the Ecuadorian embassy in London where, as we all know, the WikiLeaks publisher has been holed up for the last 6 years. This letter is addressed to Julian Assange, basically calling upon him to testify in what is being described as a closed interview at a mutually convenient time and location. Now, given we all understand Julian Assange has made it clear he has no plans to be leaving that embassy anytime soon out of his own free will, potentially this is going to be some kind of question and answer session that is probably going to be taking place via some kind of web link. Now, to be clear, the committee has clarified that the topic of this testimony would be Russian interference in the US elections of 2016. And we have seen the WikiLeaks or Julian Assange's legal team already react to this letter, saying they would be open to this kind of testimony, but it must conform to a high ethical standard. So we'll be keeping an eye on when exactly this happens and whether or not some kind of information comes out of what is discussed.
Sure. Why does the US believe that Assange should be central then to their investigation into those alleged actions by Moscow?
Well, this seems to fall into this US-led narrative that has been circulating widely, especially in mainstream media, basically saying that Russia had something to do with the US elections when Donald Trump came to power, and that Julian Assange had a part to play in that. Because as we know, of course, just recently, it's been said that 11 Russian intelligence officers had hacked into DNC servers. They had taken some sensitive information, allegedly passed it to Julian Assange, who later published that information. And despite Julian Assange himself having denied any of this countless times in numerous appearances, it seems this is still a prevalent understanding in Washington, so that's why they want to talk to him about it. But Julian Assange has made his position clear a handful of times.
Our source is not the Russian government, and it is not a state party. This is something a 14-year-old kid could have hacked.
So the actor that they've tried to bring in is the Russian intelligence services. Hillary Clinton stated multiple times, falsely, that 17 US intelligence agencies had assessed that Russia was the source of our publications. Okay, that's false.
Well, so now with WikiLeaks legal team saying Assange would not be against talking to them, we might be able to get some more information in terms of Assange setting the record straight when it comes to the investigation being carried out by this US Intelligence Senate Committee.